European stocks fluctuated in the morning as investors became increasingly concerned about a potential second wave of coronavirus cases. Meanwhile, a couple of corporate news out there getting investors' attention. Chelsea will tell us more. Hello, Chelsea. Good afternoon. Well, German industrial giant ThyssenKrupp has reported a 1.3 billion euro loss as it struggles to deal with the fallout of coronavirus. Will this derail the struggling company's turnaround plans?
ThyssenKrupp is saying that this is going to really hamper its ability to stage a quick turnaround. ThyssenKrupp is a very old, storied German conglomerate, and it's really been struggling over the past several years and has really embarked on an ambitious turnaround plan, part of which was to sell its elevator business, which had struck a deal with the private equity firms earlier in the year worth about 17 billion euros. And it was going to use those 17 billion euros to pay down debt and to invest back into the existing parts of its business. But now that coronavirus has really brought production and business to a standstill, they have had to rethink how they're going to use that money from the elevator sales. So they're saying that they're not going to be able to spend as much on some of these turnaround efforts. And that's really a big concern for investors. We've seen the stock fall about 16% today. So I think there's just a lot of doubt that they will be able to stage this turnaround that's really been so crucial for their narrative.
And budget airline Ryanair says it plans to restore 40% of its flight schedule in July. Will other European airlines follow suit?
We've heard similar things from other European airlines at this point. Lufthansa here in Germany is hoping to double its flights next month in June. That would still only leave it with around 150, 160 planes flying, so much smaller proportion of its fleet. But they're saying, it's a start. And we also heard British Airways yesterday say that they also plan to start ramping up their flight schedule again during the summer. So a lot of airlines are quite optimistic that they will be able to start flying again soon. But there's also, a lot of uncertainty over these projections. One, of course, is when borders will begin to reopen and what exactly the restrictions are going to be on these airlines, and if that will deter people. There's been a lot of different proposals flying around. Some to keep the middle seats always empty, to not let people just get up and go to use the lavatory. So there are a lot of different restrictions that consumers could be facing when they fly, and that could really put people off for now. And at the same time, all of these airlines are really facing dramatic financial constraints right now. A lot of airlines are really coming up against the ends of their budgets. They're running out of money, and so they really do need to get business back up and running again soon.
And the head of oil company BP says the oil market may have peaked as coronavirus saps demand and environmental efforts raise questions about the future of the industry. What would that mean for oil producers like BP?
What this means for both oil-producing companies like BP and also for oil-producing countries like Saudi Arabia is that they really have to think about now what sort of industry that we're sort of moving to. Even before this most recent oil price decline, all of the discussions over climate change and the end of fossil fuels had left a lot of countries and a lot of companies questioning what their future was going to be. So you had a country like Saudi Arabia take their state-owned oil company public and plan to use a lot of that money to diversify their business or diversify their economy. And a lot of companies as well were taking tentative steps to diversify outside of oil and invest in things like renewable energies, wind power, solar power. But all of that has been really, really heightened right now by these sort of twin disasters of the oil price collapse in the pandemic. So all of these companies and all of these oil-producing nations are very much having to accelerate their efforts to diversify and not be so dependent on oil, because with demand so low now, a lot of questions over whether we'll ever recover to what it was before, and also the looming changes with climate and more green policy that really does diminish the case for relying on oil.
Thank you very much, Chelsea, for your time. Enjoy the rest of the day.